little video on covering the fabrication needed to do a D-Series swap into a first generation Honda chassis. This will cover my Civic 1200. The rules still apply for a Civic 1500 CVCC. The only thing is you only have a couple more inches in the engine bay, so it's actually more straightforward than the clearances needed here. Generally speaking, what we did was we unriveted the driver mount, got rid of it completely, and then obviously we've taken and fabricated our own mounts in. I got 88 to 91 innovative mounts. So our driver and our passenger mounts are set up to be 88 to 91 CRX mounts, okay? The passenger side of this car did not factory use a trans mount. It mounted with a driver mount, a cross member, and a dog bone. So like I said, we've got the driver mount fabricated in here, welded to the chassis, trans mount on this side. We made a little stepper bracket here, adapter to go from the, instead of a trans mount, it gives us the clearance here without having to make these big plates off to the side. So this car will still be set up for 88 and 91 mounts later for if I want to go B series or thing along those lines. In the front, we did a tubular cross member. What we did is we lopped off the mounting locations from the factory on the factory cross member. We welded them and reinforced this steel tube all the way across the front end. You see there, it gets pretty damn close to the header down there. We took and not only that, we notched the frame on both sides quite a few inches. You see, I've got plenty of clearance here. If you go to my build thread, they boxed this in with steel. Everything came out really nice. And what they did was, we made it where it's easy to pull the motor in or out. And then you also have plenty of clearance to service the engine in the bay if you need to. Had to trim the firewall. There used to be a lot of material here for the heater hoses to run, something like that. Would have trimmed that back. Also had to trim the lip here. This is non-structural, it's no big deal. In this swap, you're able to retain your brake, booster, and master. I have it out right now, I'm putting new ones in it. But you are able to retain that. It does kind of make intakes kind of a pain. If you'd like to do a booster delete, you get a little bit more room there. We also had to do quite a bit of cutting on the frame. On this side, we got boxed in with steel to give us the clearance we wanted for this transmission. In the back, we ended up doing a sway bar in link for a Mazda Miata used as a dog bone mount to the chassis of the vehicle. And other than that, that's really about the extent of the fabrication required. You will retain factory axles in this. To do it correctly, where you're not going to go through them, you do need to have some HD axles made. After this, we're going to go over the wiring and what entails with that, and go from there. I keep getting a lot of questions. People keep wanting to see the mounts. Like I said, I'm trying to cover these things as good as I can. Like, follow, share. I'll keep these things pumping out. I've got a lot of content to go up. There's a lot of things coming. Here to cover a few more things on the 79 Civic today. One thing I keep getting asked about is how we did the wiring in the car. And I figured now would be a good time, before I set this in for good, to go over it with you. In this ZC swap, what I did was, to make things life simple, is I left the chassis wiring alone, okay? So all the lights, the turn signals, all that jazz, it is the factory wiring. I thought I want to give a shout out to Jason Waters Tuning today. Here's what we're going to go over is his standalone OBD1 ECU kit. It's pretty straightforward. You have a relay and fuse box. It's got 5 fuses, 5 relays. You send power and ground to the back of it there, okay? It plugs in to your switch panel. It goes over here. You literally have a momentary switch to start it, your ignition on, and then your other 4 leads. This is for your accessories, your fuel pump, your fan, etc. They're labeled inside the fuse box cover. It pops on there. It's watertight, all that jazz. You can't beat it. From there, so we've got the relay box plugged into the switch panel. You've got a lead over here. You've got all of your tack signal wire, which is a blue wire. The other 4 wires are for accessories. If you want to run your fans, your fuel pumps, any of that does. Then it plugs into the engine harness side here. ECU plugs in here. And then you have everything for the engine labeled. Obviously, you just plug it up where it goes at that point. So that's really, in a nutshell, the wiring for the car. Like I said, I'm using all of the factory lights, turn signal switches, all that jazz. I'm going to get 12 volt switched for my power on for the relay, for my fuel pump off of the dash harness. And then what we're going to do from there is have it so you have to have the key in and on to start the car to get the fuel pump, but everything else will be powered through the switch panel. That'll just about do it for this one. On the next video, I'm going to show you guys running the fuel lines and what to do about your throttle cable and your clutch cable and everything with the brakes. Guys, again, like, follow, subscribe. I'm going to keep these pumping out, and everyone have a great night.